Hello. I think Asjez is in chat. Who else is in chat? Let's see. I don't know if Asjez is still in here. Well, anyway, hello everyone. I'm starting a bit earlier today because I am very excited. Hi. For some reason, it's not showing you in the users and chat thing. That's weird. That chat thing's usually like out of sync though. It's pretty weird. So the theme of today is that I want to add Laravel Media Library to Gitstore v2, which is a bit of Laravel work, a little bit of Livewire work, and yeah. But the reason I'm so excited, I want to mention, is that yesterday, was it yesterday? I don't know, yesterday or the day before, Gitstore got its first paying customer, which is pretty cool. And that paying customer was Matthias Novak, who is a PHP and domain-driven design focused dev from the Netherlands, I think. And he launched a book, which I'll tell you about application architecture, how to build stuff in maintainable ways. Matthias. So he launched this book. It's an early launch, so it's about 15% written. And one of the things that he's doing, there's a couple interesting things he's doing with it that I really like. The one is that readers of the book can enter into like a book club where regularly he will have video calls and talk about architecture and programming books he's reading along with people in there. It's like a book club, but on the internet and programming. So that's the one interesting thing, which I don't know if I've seen that attached to a book launch before. The other interesting thing is that he's got a showcase project, which most books have, but this one I get the sense is a little bit more intricate, and he's actually giving access to it. It's a private code repo that he's giving access to through Gitstore. So this is the first project he's using Gitstore for, where people can get access to this private repo for $5. And I think that's really cool. I really like that. His is the most, I think 20 sales on a single project is the most sales Gitstore's had thus far, which is really cool. There are people who've had fewer sales with more money, and there are people who've had fewer sales over more repos, but I think the rate that this is going, this is like 19 people in a single day. The rate this is going, it's going to be the most active project for a while. So that's really exciting. That's why I wanted to start streaming earlier. I'm probably going to go to the normal time today, but hopefully I'll get a little bit more functionality done than what I was planning. So today, with Media Library, we need to go into the V2 app and get this started. So that's a serve command. And then this project is so much easier to start up than V1. It's actually ridiculous. So this is the project. There are a few things that we added to a roadmap on Monday. The last time I streamed anyway. I actually had a roadmap for things that I wanted to add to V2. We did some stuff on V1. And then this one, what's that key? Nope, that key. So there's a lot of stuff on the V2 roadmap. One of the things that I didn't have on here but occurred to me as I was thinking about what I wanted to stream about today was that currently we're doing some file system stuff. So we're allowing people to upload. Hello. What's going on there? Oh. Little bit of lag. We're allowing people to upload files, and so there's actually custom. Oh, it's the stupid VS Code bug again. I need to try reinstalling VS Code. It nearly crashes every time I start it up. That's ridiculous. Okay, so we're doing some file upload stuff directly to S3. This whole UI runs on Laravel Livewire, which means that things that create stuff or change what a sales page is going to look like persist data to the server, like normal apps, but it doesn't do it with Ajax. Or it does, but not Ajax that I write. It doesn't do it with full page reloads. It's using Livewire. So I put event listeners onto stuff, text inputs changing, buttons being clicked on, and those trigger server events, and then the UI updates accordingly. So the way that we're doing these uploads is actually a fair bit of custom JavaScript. It's like the only JavaScript in this v2, where we listen for an on-drop event, and then we iterate through the files that were dropped, and then we get their base64 data, and then we send that to the server. It's very custom, and it's that way because there's no real recommended way of uploading files using Livewire yet. I think Caleb's just testing the waters on that. But that's not where the custom code ends, unfortunately, because I have to get base64 data on the server and then put that on S3. And so, if VS Code is not finished loading yet, I'll actually show you what that code looks like. It's interesting, but it can be better. It can be better. And I was chatting with Frick about spicy packages and where I could get involved, and he said, well, Media Library for one. There's a few things he mentioned, but Media Library kind of stood out for me as a package I've never used before. I don't think I've ever built anything that is not on a pre-built CMS, but that needs media management in a really robust way. So it's interesting, hey, because it's like I think one of their best packages that they have, but I've just never used it. So I was thinking I could replace the custom code that I'm using to upload to S3. Let's see if I can go to this code and show you what it's doing. I can replace the custom code that is uploading these files to S3 with calls to Media Library to handle that stuff, and then I don't have to manage that anymore on my side. It may mean having to do some funky things or having to submit some pull requests to Media Library, because I get the data as base64 data. Okay, come on, get done, VS Code. I think there's actually an extension that might be causing this, and I'm going to disable it right now because I can't deal with this. I think it is this one. Okay, so I get this stuff sent from the front end, and I kind of don't want to change the front end code at all. I'm happy with how the front end code's working. It deals with some issues that I was having. But the interesting bit is that this data then has to be put into a file. So I can use the file system stuff currently to put raw data into a file. But then I've got to deal with the association of this stuff. The tricky thing is, looking at this code now, I persist the file before I ever associate it with a page. So at this point, I'm already storing it into the file system. Maybe I should just put it locally in a temporary file. But the risk is, if I put it in a temporary file, that there are so many temporary pages that the file system is overloaded anyway. What if I put it into a temporary space and then move it with Media Library? I don't know. I don't know. How would I make good use of Media Library in here? I kind of feel like this needs to stay like it is, but this could change to maybe something more temporary. And then when I persist the page is it in Show Wizard? Yes, okay. When I persist the page in Show Wizard, instead of doing this stuff, Instead of doing this stuff, I could associate with media library. So media library lets you, let's see, associating files. There's a path to file. There's an add media from URL. So if you want to download from somewhere else, there's an add media from disk. So this is what we would use over here. We'd say add media from disk, and then we'd pass this path, and spaces would be the disk in our application. So it's possible that we can say, make the page like we're doing over here, over here, make the page, and then have page configured to have its own media collections. And then instead of upload create, we associate from disk. Now there are some benefits. It's not just how can I replace my own code with sparsy code. There are some benefits to using this beyond what we already have. For instance, we can get optimized and resized images if it's images that are being uploaded. So if someone is uploading a high-res image file, we can potentially generate smaller versions of that. You see, I'm not sure what all is available here, but we could potentially generate optimized versions of things and pass those down in a preview sense. We can also download multiple files as a zip, which is stuff I would have to write myself. And I don't even have this yet because I haven't written it yet. But this would make it quite easy to do. Yeah, I mean, we can get responsive images. There's a bunch of stuff. We can also do, when it comes to theming, we can also use this, because if someone wants to upload a background image or a logo or an avatar, we can get responsive images based on those uploads that we might not have been able to do without a lot of custom code as well. So I definitely think that there is merit in us using this. And that's the theme. That's the theme for tonight. So I kind of think this has to stay in place like it is. But I also think that here, instead of having a separate model for this and managing the association manually, I can use media library for this. So let me start there. Require, I'm going to do it without a version constraint. I usually run into issues when I run into issues. I shouldn't say usually. When I run into issues with removing version constraints, it is because what is documented matches this version constraint. And so if I get like a newer major version, then the documentation might be out of date. But I have no fear of that in this case because Sparsy's docs are amazing. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. And then once that's done, we can do the migrations for it. So you see, not a major version, just a minor version. We can get the migrations and migrate them. And I assume these will be polymorphic migrations. I guess we'll see now. Hello? How's everyone doing tonight? Well, it's tonight where I am. How's everyone doing where you are? This is cool actually, because I was reading in their docs earlier that you can do an avatar collection as an example. The example they gave is the exact example I need. So I wanted to do avatars on the created pages. So like at the end of this process, that page that gets generated where it has some meta copy at the top, I was thinking about what do we do with avatars there and avoiding it because it's a lot of custom work. But I could use Media Library's limited collection functionality and default URL functionality. So I could make an avatar collection that uses a random avatar or the same avatar, and then you can override that with an upload. That would then put one file into that media collection. So I could use it there. Where else should I do this? Is this done yet? Come on, be quicker. Why is this taking so long? Ugh. I'm aging at the rate this is taking. Okay, so this is the code that we want to replace. We'll end up replacing a migration as well. And now what changed in this that it's asking me to save? It can't install. No. Can only install on. This is why it was taking so long. Requires 6.18 or 7. What version am I using for this? Laravel Framework 6.2. Well, I guess I'm going to be updating Laravel Framework. Why am I so far behind on that update? Ominous music. I was off work today. It was quite a good day. I've had a lot of leave lately, actually. Ooh, common mark 134. Oh, there we go. There's 6.18. So my dependency on common mark. Oh, I don't have it yet. I haven't done that work yet. Okay, cool. So that's cool. Then the media library thing will probably be a bit quicker. No wonder it was taking so long. It didn't know how to install. Go. My head. What is this for? What is that for? That's actually these two clients. That's these two clients. What is that? Interesting. I've seen this lately with Nexmo's PHP library that also uses PHP HTTP. This is actually just an abstraction with a few popular implementations. Nexmo uses this, and then I think it's because these two that also use it. Come on, don't do this to me. Remove fly system. This is gonna break everything. Actually, I don't know if it will. I don't have that much stuff in here. This is obviously a very new a very new set of constraints that they've had. I wonder if a major version of this has been pushed lately. Yesterday. This is very active. Yesterday, 8 days, 13 days, 16 days, 21 days. Very active. When was 8.0 released? 9th of March. Interesting. So I started V2 before then. No wonder all of this stuff is conflicting. Come on. Anything stand out as a problem? Pass downs removed. Why? What uses it now? All of these seem fairly innocuous. 115. Yeah, all of it seems fairly innocuous. Yo, these minor version numbers from the AWS SDK are impressive. Oh, that's not good. Hold on, what's this? This here, reflection doc block. That's a major upgrade. Maybe PHP unit changed it. Okay, can we install it now? League fly system went to 1066. Has this updated my composer JSON? Nope. You see, that's a problem actually, because composer upgrade update packet composer JSON. I don't know how to search for this actually. This is a mess. Composer update to update the required packages and regenerate composer. Well, it's getting there at least. That's cool. What bugs me is that it updated the versions of these, but it didn't update their dependency things. Recommend not installing Symfony polyfills in production. Replace that with... What does that do, though? So the testing server I have this running on is only 7.2. Which is a problem. I need to provision a new server for it, but it's piggybacking on another server that's hosting a bunch of unimportant stuff at the moment. I actually just don't feel like re-provisioning and moving everything over. But what does the replace statement do? Oh. Well, there's an article there. talking about exactly what you're talking about. Right. I see. That's interesting. So I should just look for all the polyfills that get installed and replace them out. Is that what you're telling me? I hate that this has not picked the version of... How do you get... How do you get Composer to update the minimum version to what it's using at the moment? Because I can't do prefer minimum or prefer lowest or whatever that switch is to install the lowest now, because it will break. I need framework to be at 6.18. Update. Ah, okay. I see. So that's how you list the polyfills, I guess. Okay. I would worry about that now. Oh, sorry for banging this. That was quite loud. Okay. What's done though is media library is installed. Let's migrate its polymorphic tables. So we should have this new migration here and this. All that stuff. Oh, there's some JSON fields here. That's interesting. What are the requirements? Uses JSON columns. 5.7 or higher is required. What version of MySQL do I have installed? Everywhere. Oh, will it only work with MySQL? Let's see, how can I tell what version of MySQL the server is running? Can I do this without going to the command line? 5.7. Cool. Works for me. Amazing. Okay. If I use those, I should edit it to include a down method. Let me do that because I like down methods. Okay, what is this? Config. I definitely want to publish the config because I need to check out what's being done in that. So that will be in here. Mm-hmm. 10 meg file size limit. I think that's okay. Yeah, I don't have any Q stuff running on V2 yet. Yeah, I don't really know what I want to, if I need to change anything here, or if I want to change anything here. What's cool is that there's image generators for SVG, so someone can upload an SVG and you can get like a thumbnail out of that, which is really cool. Okay, fine. I don't want to mess too much with that. What I do want to do is, let's see, show wizard, upload files. These are the two places that I do stuff. So can I upload something temporarily? Path to file, preserving original. Interesting. Move from disk. Okay. There was a thing that I didn't add, which is that I have to add a couple things to this model for page. Models, page. There's a few things in there, and then I need to implement as media and use interact with media. Okay. So this means this should now be able to have media items, and then I can use this method in show wizard instead of that. So path to file needs to be worked out. We have, oh, and this is plan. So we have the UUID, we can actually get this here. Name is that. Do I use name anywhere else? Maybe I should use file name. And that is spaces. Is that just raw? Hold on while I log into DigitalOcean. I really need a better UI for managing these files. I'll just be over here quickly. Oh, I forgot to ask Grant how his site's doing. I'll ask him when he's done with his stream. Okay, so these things just upload directly into this space, which is not great. Not great, I should say. But that means that we only have to give that. So maybe I'll call it path. Or maybe I'll just use the whole string like it is, because there's less code for me. Okay, so that associates the image with the plan. But it's not it's not with the, it is the plan actually. This is for each plans as plan. It is associating with the plan. That makes total sense actually. And spaces is the name of that container. I'm going to check to see if this is the case. I'm going to check to see if this is the case. So let's make a new page on Gitstore, and let's upload some stuff, like just a PNG. Okay, next, PayPal with some junk, proceed to PayPal, whatever, pick the default theme. Broken! UUID is not defined. Okay. I don't send the extension through. I do send the extension through, I just don't use it here. Oh, gross. I mean, I think this is kind of gross, though. I think this is kind of gross. Can I not do... Is this not a... Oh, it won't be a thing in PHP 7.2 anyway. I so wish I could go flippin' UUID extension is data. I so wish I could do that. Why can't I do that? I want to be able to do that. Anyway. Maybe I should do a sprintf. Maybe I should do this as a different variable. Path is sprintf. What? I've put this in the wrong place. It's not supposed to be on that. It's supposed to be on that. Shut up. Oh, flip. There we go. Okay, so we were on 24 items. When we refresh, we should see Alf. Welcome. I didn't say this at the time, but thank you for following 5 days ago. I still only see 24 items, unfortunately, so I don't think it has done it. It may be that it has made a folder, but I don't see how. I feel like that has not done what I thought it would do. Maybe. Oh. Yeah, that is local. Maybe what it has done is just associate it. Maybe it's just associated it from where it is. Where is this? Gitstore 2. Media. Media. Content. Okay, so UUID name is... So where's it put this? If I look at file system, public is app URL storage. Has it copied it to my local file system? Could it possibly have done that? That would vex me. Cool. Cool. Okay. I'll tell you what we do. What we really do we change this to, we actually change the secret. No. Yes. Yes, we change the secret. Let me do that quickly. In a different place. Example. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to delete that file out of storage because I don't want it there. Delete. And I'm going to try again. Nope. Takes a second because now it's downloading and re-uploading. I don't think it's going to be using streams. If it isn't, maybe that's a cool place for us to contribute code, is to say use streams. Okay, 24 items, do a refresh. 24 items still, but one of them may be a folder. I'm hoping. Disk spaces. I think I need to actually look at the underlying code for this. I need to look at the underlying code for this. Source interacts with media. URL from base64 already exists there. Oh no. Okay. I was asking him if I should maybe add this, if I could maybe add this. Turns out it was already there. Disk, is that the method I'm looking for? Add media from disk. File add a factory, create from disk. Okay, so I need to look at file adder factory. Lucky guess. Create from disk, file adder, set subject, set file. File adder. Instance of remote file, there we go. Adam, hey, how's it going? Path to file, set file, media name. So returns this. I don't really see any I don't really see any checks to say if this file is in exactly the same place as you want it to. Yes, you should be motivated as Jez. But look, you're really helpful when you're here anyway, so it's like you're working on personal projects. It's just the personal project is my brain. I don't see any logic here that says if the file is already where I want to copy it to, bail. I think this is... yeah, I don't know. I think I'd have to get down deep into the guts of this library to figure out what it's doing. It is associating, so actually I can delete this. You know what I should do is probably truncate this. I'm going to do that quickly. I'm going to truncate that. I'm going to go to here and empty this folder. So now I will have to re-auth with a bunch of stuff, but that's totally fine. Cell, next, uploads. Let's pick Twitter. Okay. That remembered. So we should have nothing in here. And we should have nothing in the media table either. In fact, none of these tables should have anything in them. Why is that file still there? Uploaded just now. Oh, because this uploads the file. Okay, fine. So this UI actually does upload the file before it associates it with a page. And there, the UUID starts with 8606. And when we persist, it should take a second because it is supposed to be doing server-side stuff. There we see file name 8606. So it does persist there. Does it rename it here? It's nowhere near here. What? Oh, dang it, it's put it back in here, I think. No, it's nowhere. It's just nowhere to be found. Okay. You know what I think might have happened? Let me give you my honest opinion. I think I changed that secret and I didn't restart the server, and so it was still using the old default, which was public. I don't know why I can't find it in the public folder, but I think that's why it removed it. So let's try again. Restarted the server. Gitstore uploads is empty. I will truncate the database as well to make sure. Okay. So this is empty. I expect after dragging and dropping the file for it to be uploaded to S3. That's what I expect to happen. So let's drag Twitch. If I mouse over this, it might even tell me what UUID I can expect to see. F220. F220. Great. Let's go all the way to the end of the process. Create the page. It's gone again. Where has my file gone? Where my file at? Goes into spaces. If I look at the config for file systems, spaces is the same place that I'm uploading to temporarily. And I've said use media disk, which in my secrets now says spaces. So where has this put it? Where's it gone? What's my log say? What's the date today? Oof. It's not July 17th, macOS. You lie. April 15th. Undefined variable, that was earlier. Has media not found, that was earlier. So where is this thing? Is there like a queue job that's waiting somewhere? I don't have debugging set up on this machine, so I can't follow that good piece of advice, Adam. temporary directory path, storage path, media library temp. Maybe it is getting confused because I am saying, yeah, good old var dump. Maybe it's getting confused because I am saying copy it from this exact same folder to this exact same folder. And so maybe in preparation for copying it to, it is deleting the file that already exists there and then wigging out. But why would it not give me an error at that point? This is confusing me. I feel like we already have the data at this point in the file system, so maybe I should just put it somewhere temporarily. Maybe I should just put it somewhere temporarily. What are the disks that I have here? Local, probably. Put with UUID. I mean, how it's going to do that, I don't know. But then go show wizard and say, get it from local. So that could saturate my local disk, granted. No files here. Yeah, maybe it is trying to, yeah, absolutely. After moving. Maybe it's doing that. That actually makes more sense than what I was suggesting could be going on. The cleanup, but it's cleaning up the destination implicitly because the source is the same as the destination. So if we put this to schedule, put. I did it wrong. I need to have all this stuff. Did you see that? Did you feel the anguish in me? Did you feel the utter anguish? Adam, you're onto it. So let's flush the session. Oh, the anguish in me. See, that was a lot quicker because it was just going straight to it. So you drop, it goes to the local server in base64, and then it was going to S3. Now it's just going to the local file system. So I should see it in storage now. Here we go. App, there's that file over there. So it's on the local file system. This should send it to S3. So no more on the local file system. There, one item. One. Why? Why? Why is the folder just one? Is that the ID of the media? Is that why it's using it? Media. Model ID 1? It's probably the model ID then that it's doing it as. But yeah, polymorphic relationship. So it's got the file name there. It doesn't have... It has the right MIME type, actually. But it's now uploaded without an extension as well. So I feel like we're still going to have to use this. And when we put it in the file system, we're still going to have to put it as that. Okay, yeah. I feel we're still going to have to do that, actually. Delete. And at the same time, while we're here, let's get rid of this uploads table because we no longer need it. Similarly, we can get rid of this, which means we have a use here that is no longer necessary. What else? Oh, I love anything that makes this massive class smaller. Okay. Empty database. About me. Now we should have an extension as well. Adam, your point earlier about oh no, it was Asjez actually. Your point about path info and extensions, yes, good points. I actually want to add that to the backlog of things to look out for. It's not really just security stuff. But yeah, I need to validate this stuff a lot more. I'm not doing that at the moment. So there we have our about me. It's PNG, that's good. And cleanup from the local file system has happened. This is the folder it should be in, so that's good as well. Success. Success. I dig that. Can I change this? Is it possible to change this database table name? Media model. Is that? Damn. I could have my own media model that extends it with a custom database table name. I don't know if I want to do that though. I don't know if I want to do that. I'll leave this as media. I think the closer I can be to the stock media library setup, the easier things like Laravel Shift will be, if and when I need to do that. So what has changed thus far? I added this to say where it must upload that to. Got rid of the upload model using media library for this. Oh, I can delete that stuff. Upload files, delete that. What else? Plan has a bunch of media library stuff, and a whole whack of stuff changed with Composer. Okay, now, how do we get this to show our downloads once we're here? I don't want to do the payment stuff right now, but I want to continue with media library stuff, which means that on show wizard, no, on show page, this is the file that does this. I need to have a, I need to change the editing stuff as well. That's besides the point. I need to have a has paid variable. And I can actually set this to false to begin with. And in render, if this has paid, then I should pass files through with a view. So files, I'll just say, is empty, and keys is empty. No. Oh, you know what's annoying is, I'm just thinking now. So, exciting about the GitHub allowing unlimited collaborators to private repos on free accounts, right? That's awesome news. It means a much better user workflow for us. We're still going to have to support deploy keys, but we'll be able to give people the option to say, do you want people to be able to see the repo, so add them as collaborators, or do you want them to just have access to a code download, add them as deployers? So we're going to have to work that step into all of the workflows that have GitHub and Bitbucket things. Although Bitbucket, we won't have that option for, right? Because they haven't got unlimited collaborators to private repos, as far as I know. I don't know. I'd need to check. But thinking now, if we do need to add deploy keys, we could probably generate one key per purchase and add it to both systems and to all the repos that are affected. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to leave keys here because presumably if there are keys based on configuration, then we would want to render them once someone's purchased. Similarly, if there are files to download, if someone's associated them with a plan that's been purchased, I want to be able to pass them. But then if this has paid, we can get keys and files. Now, I don't have the keys mechanism built into V2 yet, but I can show the files. So has paid for plans. This should actually be an empty array. This should be an empty array. And we should listen. I guess we're going to have the plan blocks that you purchase from as individual Livewire components, in which case, should I do that work now? Currently, these are all part of the main show page view. Show page, it's actually quite a big view, come to think of it. Maybe we should do plans as individual Livewire components and have their purchasing stuff there. So you hit purchase and like UI appears to purchase from that plan. How would that work? What does that look like? If you click purchase here, what happens to your page? It should actually, like, it shouldn't just be confined to this block, the payment stuff. It should be like a whole big thing that displays. So I want to do that from the whole show page thing, in which case I can store an array of plans you have purchased, presumably like one in the main, like people are just going to purchase from one plan. But I can store those plans that they've purchased from. Nufje, am I pronouncing that correctly? Thank you for the follow. Nufje? Oh, let me close notifications. Okay, so I can put plans that people have purchased on this page in an array, and then I can say if count of this is greater than 0. Shoo, okay. For each, this has paid for plans as plan. And here we can say keys plan ID is array. And here we can do files. I mean, I don't need to do this, do I? I don't need to do this. What we can do is we can have an event listener that says has paid for plan. Perfect. I'm like, half of this thinking going in my head and half of it's coming out my mouth. Ask me questions if I'm not saying the important things. Public function on has paid for plan. Plan ID. We'll do that by plan ID. Plan is plan find or fail plan ID. This has paid for plans plan. This can actually just be a collection. Oh, okay. In which case, no. Let's leave it as an array. This is going to make this very efficient, but it's only going to be it's going to make it very inefficient, but it's only going to be inefficient when they purchase more than one plan on the same page. So let's leave that as an array. Let's array push has paid for plans with the plan ID. Let's say plans is plan where in ID. Oh, I need to do get. Okay. I'm doing it like this because I want to pass as little data. I want to store as little plan data in session as possible. I only want to start sending these things to the front end when someone has paid for them. On has paid for plan. This raises an issue of if this is listening as a Livewire listener. Okay, that's a thing I can think about later. On paid for plan. And then in here, I can actually have a button in show page. I can have a button on the plan. Where would I have that? Like over here. Button type, button, wire click. Emit. So I'm imagining that this actually moves to a different a different Livewire component, that these things move to a different Livewire component, because I think it's going to get really messy if it's just all in one view, and I think it can still pop up global UI. I think it can still pop up global UI. It's just that the state management for each individual plan can be in its own thing, or its own component even. That makes sense. Okay, I need to bring in plan. Okay, so if I click on pay here, I'm going to see no change. Okay. If in array, no, if plans contains can I do contains with a model? This is gonna have, I mean, that's not actually what I want to do. I want to say can my, oh, there we go, collections available methods contains, yes, I can do it with models. Okay, all styling aside, I'm actually just checking. I'm just checking how errors happen, apparently. For now, let's not make this an emit. I think that's getting in the way. And so we can refresh, but I actually need to remember if this person has paid for this plan. So in mount, I'm actually going to say, I'm actually going to have to say, well, I'm going to have to make, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to do like all of the subscription stuff. No, I'm not going to do that now. What I want to do, all I want to do is I want to do the stuff that pertains to media library. So have I paid for it? Okay, yes. The system sees that I paid for it just by clicking these buttons. It'll forget, and that's fine because I'm not actually paying for it yet. But once I've paid for it, I want to get the media files that are available here. So for each plan, get media files? Is that how this works? Retrieving converted image, retrieving media. Get media. That's fine. Back to your roots, Chris. Oh no. That doesn't make sense. So work through this with me. Someone uploads in the process of creating a sales page, and we give it a UUID, and previously we were remembering its title and saving that title in the database, so we could always say, hey, this is actually blob.png or whatever, design.psd. Now, because we're sending it with media library, the file we give media library has that UTF-8 in the string. We can't make that file have the pretty name because there could be conflicts on the local file system we're uploading to a temporary place. So, how do we tell media library that the file should be named something else? Rename file. Naming conversion files. No. I mean, maybe something in here. See, preserve original, that was the cleanup it was doing. Wow, this music got intense. No. Custom properties. So we could store a custom property of title and then its name. How is that stored? Is that the JSON field that it's talking about? I feel like that's the JSON field it's talking about. So, okay, so how do we store that custom property then? Let's go to show wizard. Path to media collection. Add media from disk. With custom properties. We actually have all of these other properties that we can use. Size, UUID, extension. I don't actually want to store all of them though. I think just its name, right? Just its raw name. Cool. And then on show page we can do file get custom property. Or do we just do custom properties? Nah, get custom properties better. Name. And how do we get the download URL of this? Downloading single file. I don't know if we want to do. We probably want to have like. Maybe have an endpoint. This would seem to indicate. This would seem to indicate that we have to have an endpoint. Oh, bumped the mic again. So annoying. I'm so sorry.
The network will pick me up.
Okay. For now, I'll just leave this as a hash. A hash? Pay. Paid nothing. With setup paid nothing. What? Okay, but I also don't have a title on that thing yet, so let's go and make a new page. This has 3 files. Pew. Okay, and if we go here, then we'll see model ID2 with 3 files in that folder. This is actually much neater. I like this. It's much better than it. Why is it 4? Is it the ID of the file? Okay, I don't know so much about that being much neater anymore, but okay. Okay, so pay. And there we see our original file names. Great. So custom attributes, hey? Custom properties on media files. So there's probably a JSON blob of stuff in this media table. There we go. Custom properties. So I can get the names in there. That's really cool. It's got the size, it's got the MIME type, it's got the file name. So I don't need to mess with any of that, really. This order column, I see some media library UI pro stuff coming in here. That's what that is. Okay. So, right, we need to do downloads for this. How do we do that? Probably with a route to download. A route. What should this be under? Files. Files. Really? Plans. Files. I want to do that stuff so badly. I want to do that stuff so badly. Download media. Let's call it like that for consistency. Class. I need to redo this routes setup. I don't like these slash users things, especially not slash users login. And their prefixes and all that stuff I need to redo. However, do I want to do that as media? I kind of don't know if I want to do that as media. Downloads? Downloads. I want to do that as downloads. And download file. Yeah. That's definitely what I would prefer to do it as. Download file. Okay. Fill file. Okay, so this means I need to make a download file controller. Yay, that's so good. That's so good. How it does that? Okay. Downloads. What do I need this for? Why do I extend controller here? Do I do this in all of these? Why? Why? I don't use controller. Okay. So apparently this does do responsible. However, I want to use its custom attribute for the file name, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I need to use this model media though. Come now. Come now, come now, come now. So that's what I'm going to use instead, because I need to do get custom property. This. There we go. Okay, what does that look like? Oh, I don't think I linked it. I don't think I linked it in here. So I need to use the route name, this route name here. In show page, route that and file as the parameter. And that should give me a download file. So donations. Error! That's because it's doing it by ID. I need to do this by UUID because that's what I'm using for the lookup. Error again! 404 not found. Web. Can I not do this dynamic lookup in this version of Laravel? I'm pretty sure I asked this just the other day, and I don't remember the answer that I gave myself. The basics, routing, route model binding. Damn it, I have to use this. Damn. But I can't. I can't do this because it's a sparsy model. So that takes me back to using. That actually takes me back to using my own model for this again. Now this becomes more clear cut. Because now I can say table. And I can also say get route key name UUID. And okay, so extends that model, create uploads table, which means I need to make this. And in config, go away. In config for media library, I need to change this. So it's now app models upload class. Yes, what else needs to change? Will this work? Oh, I'm so curious about whether this will work or not. All of that stuff seems to stay the same. Okay. So I need to migrate fresh, really. If Artisamb. Okay. Create uploads table not found. Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't found, because I didn't change it here. Of course it doesn't found. Okay, so my media table is now gone. My uploads table is still here, but it matches that table name. Let's truncate spaces. A task for the backlog. Clean up spaces. Go away, Slack. I do not want you. Okay. All I'm testing right now is upload functionality. Does it still work after the changes I've made? next, PayPal, next, make the page. Check the database. 3 files. Good. Okay. Good. No. Bad. What? Why is that still a thing? Show page. Clan get media count. I need to change this because now plan, that gets deleted because it's now media. Similarly, show preview or preview theme. The view for that also needs to change. I forgot about that. It was just silently failing. No, actually that's fine. That's actually fine. It's just on the... Yeah, okay. So you see now it's actually showing the files that were uploaded. Pay, download, still 404, but the uploads are still working. And I should have 3 folders in Gitstore uploads. Yes, 3 folders. Okay. So the upload's still working even with the changes I made to get a custom migration and a custom table name and a custom model. However, this is not working now. Oh, and it's because I think I can't use that syntax in here yet. If I refresh this now, pay, about me, perfect. Perfect, really? Really, that's perfect. I don't think that's perfect. Downloads, file. Maybe it's because I've... Oh, yes. Yes. This is it now. Let's rename these things. Upload, upload, and in the routes, upload, download, fine, or whatever. UID, upload, fine, whatever. Okay. Refresh, pay, about me. Still errored. Not cool. Where is this error from? Four years ago. If you are using middleware in route, if yes, you might forgot users. So I'm not using middleware in this though. But where was that? Where was that? Media library. Maybe there is some... Maybe there is some middleware that's being applied in here that I don't know about. Let's just do this quickly. I don't have an action name on there, that's why it was failing. Oh, it was looking for invoke. Okay, that file does not exist. Weird. Let me go back to the custom properties, because I think what is necessary on custom properties is setting access. I do actually want that file to be publicly accessible. And weird. Is that file public? Are those files publicly accessible? Public, yes. With an aggressive cache control. So it's not that. Downloading a single file. Nope, not that. This one. So this is the file. CF11. Let's have a look at that, if that file exists in that folder. So I'm looking for 2/CF11. 2/CF11. That definitely seems like it's there. Maybe response download is expecting something else. File downloads, stream downloads. No, I don't want a separate package for this. I'm already allowing, I'm sort of already doing this. Laravel response download from S3. That's from a URL. What am I doing wrong here? I don't think get path is the thing. I saw that in here though, right? Get path. I think something's happening with that. Nope. Where is this trying to download from? I think that's the problem that I'm having here. Sure, just stare at it until some reason happens. HTTP response. Anything in here? Nope. Ooh, I can do stream download. That's cool. But this is actually the thing that I want. Oh no. Response. Is this the one I want? It's the one that I want. One that I wanna. So here, stream download. Takes a string file, headers, disposition. How do I say? Oof. This is making my head hurt. This is making my head hurt. Working with multiple file systems, add media, all of that stuff's fine. Storing conversions on disk, yeah, all of that stuff's fine. What I want to know is, how do I do response download using a custom file name? That's what I want to know. I don't think get path is enough here. It's not telling response to download from spaces. It's trying to find it in the local file system. So that's a problem that I'm having there. Where was Laravel? Yeah, that's not where I want to be. Response factory, maybe? No, this is just an interface. What's actually doing this work? Create a stream download response for a given file. This response read stream, pass through, close. I think I'm going to have to look at the guts of one of these files. Support file. What properties do you have, file? Nothing. Amazing. File name. Name. No, that's not what I want. Why is this not highlighted? Weird. Why is it not syntax highlighted? Get the path relative to the root storage path. Get the path for conversions. Get the path for responsive images. So I feel I'm going to have to do an app file system. I'm going to have to do something like app file system disk spaces. Is it files or file system? I don't remember. Gitstore app too, sure. I haven't pushed, have I? No. Oh, I was right. All of that just to do that. Okay. Fly system. No, I've already got an example for this, I think. Because I was doing some stream examples earlier. So put stream. Damn it. This sounds like Skyrim music. Absolutely is. Oh my goodness. I have too many things open. Close that, close that. Okay, I need to get a stream from Fly System. Boom. Read files as a stream. Read stream path. So irritating that I can't do that without diving into Fly System. So irritating. Okay, what do I have here? Cool. And then probably the stream, right? Laravel download stream. I'll just do stream to stream. Why so much work? Stream download. Why? I feel like there is a lot of potential for improvement here. Stream download. What does this do? Closure. Again, no. Hate that I have to do all of that so manually. So, we get a stream of the upload. While we're not at the end of the stream, we print out a chunk of it, and then at the end, when we are at the end, file file end of file. At the end, we close that stream handler, and this is all as the custom property name. So, does this work? I'd like to report that it does in fact work. But the file could not be opened. Oh no! Why do you hate me? That too did not work. Is what like a lambda? Oh. No, this isn't being stored. This isn't being stored on Lambda. I think that look, I do want to use streams. I definitely do want to use streams here. Stream download, that's all cool. But so my main problem is declaring on line 14 a return on line 14. It's sort of like what this function appears to be doing is taking a closure that could generate text, bufferable text, and passing that to a Symfony class called streamed response, which I assume as it gets content pushes that out to the browser in a streamable way. This isn't true streaming, unfortunately, because my server is still going to have all of this stuff in memory before it clears at the end. Just buffer, 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 buffer. Unless the way that it's doing this is get clear, and so every time that closure is writing new content, it's writing it to an empty buffer. But I don't think that this is proper streaming. What I want to be able to do is get this. In fact, I'm going to try this approach here, and then pass through stream. So this is not ideal. This is not ideal because it did not do anything. It's not ideal because I want to do content disposition. I want to name the file something specific. See, so here streamed response is this buffered output thing, and then stream download does the content disposition of attachment with a file name, a custom file name. This is not enough for me. This download file doesn't seem to be enough for me because it tries to look for the file in the local file system, and that fails. And I can't fathom why download single file has this as an example when it doesn't work. Unless the assumption is someone's going to copy it to the local file system and then download it. Response download doesn't appear to have the concept of disks built into it, which kind of sucks. Download method generate response that forces the user browser to download a file at a given path. The download method accepts a file name as the second argument. You may pass HTTP headers as the third one. But where does it load this from? Do you have to set spaces as the default file system for this to work? I don't get that. The VS Code theme is Material. No, it's not. It is Blink from Rainglow. A friend of mine has this project called Rainglow, which is an attempt to make themes. I use the term friend loosely here. I don't think Dale and I have spoken in a long time. But this is a collection of themes that work in all of these environments. So I have the theme in VS Code and in Hyperterm. I also try and get it. There's like a beta going on to get it in some JavaScript source syntax highlighting things, and I use it there as well. In one of those things. But there's also like a theme picker here where you can demo out these things. So the one that I have is Blink. very small, but you can see. And there's night versions, and there's day, or there's day versions, and there's night versions, which are darker, and then there's like bright versions. Normal, I guess, is the term that's used here. Normal, contrast, light. So you can really pick a theme that you like, and then you can get it to work in everything at the same time, which is really cool. Okay, what am I going to do about this? Maybe this is related to the detach problem that I was having when I was doing the Nexmo stuff. Source, adapter, this will be, oh, sorry, fly system S3, source, adapter. Read stream gives you back an array. Why? Oh no! Is that the problem? I have a download. Still does not open. Damn it. Okay, you know what I'm going to try though? I actually want to see what this value is. If this is what I just saw. Or what I think I just saw in here. Okay, cool. No. How did I see that then? Adapter, read stream, response, unset contents, return. This makes no sense. Response is that, response stream equals that, return response. So response should be an array with stream as a key. And yet it's just the raw stream. Does Laravel dereference that? I have a feeling Laravel dereferences that. Driver read stream. No, does not. So why am I getting a resource here? Why am I getting a resource here? If it just puts that as a key on the array. I don't understand. Unread bytes 0. So I think besides that, I'm still, besides that, I still have a problem, which is that I can't get, see, I think this is saying there's nothing in there. It says it exists. Nope. I didn't die. I think dd is short for dump and die, or var dump and die. See, it's still a resource. It's just doing some formatting on top of that var dump. And the file exists at that URL, so that's not the problem. If I toss all of this stuff aside and I just do this outside of that streamed response thing, what do I get? I get the file data. Okay. What if instead of doing this stuff, I pass through? Want to be a string, php net pass through. Command. Oh man. Why did I see pass through then? I'm going crazy. I'm actually going crazy. I'm actually going crazy. This should totally work then. If I see that content in there, this should totally work. But I had this before. It's just that the file is not usable on the local file system. It doesn't open. Upload. Oh, I'm in. Oh. This is the second time in as many streams that I have forgotten about this stupid contextual binding. Upload doesn't exist inside here unless you bind it explicitly there, which means this is failing and this is not getting me content. And I hate that I've forgotten in as many streams to do that. It bugs me. This is why my implementation of short closures automatically binds context. There, it works. Okay. Guess what, chat? I fixed it. I fixed it good. Okay, there's another thing I want to add here. Let me close all of this crap. Show page, I wanted to do a download all. So this will be with plan ID. Oh. I should really, you know what? I should really add config. I should submit config changes to media library where you can say something like stream download true, and you can say download space, and this can be null by default, and if that's the case, then the responsible will use just response download, and then we can say like download name property, and again null, and that will use the file name. But if you say name, it will use the name custom property. So download name custom custom property. And if you say spaces, or like whatever you want your space to be, then it will use that to download from. So it'll do file system disk that, otherwise just not do the disk call. And if you do stream download, then it will do this in the responsible by default. That seems like such good functionality to add in here. What do you think? You think I should do that, chat? I absolutely think I should do that. I'm not going to do that now, though. Not going to do it now. Let's do our download all thing. Okay, download all files. So we need a URL for this. Let's give it all files as the name. Let's call this like that, and plan. I really don't like that. I really don't like that URL. I feel like this should be part of plans. Should be like a /plan/download/ whatever. But I don't know. I guess it's not that. I guess it's not that much of a problem. Not as much as I'm making it out to be. Anyway. So download. Oof, that's going to cause me issues. All files. Now this takes a plan. And there is an example, believe it or not, for this. I don't know if that example is going to work. Media stream. Download the files in a streamed way. Fantastic. So, fine. Apparently that works. Maybe the streaming stuff is there and it's just not exposed or documented. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, let's name this after the plan name. Oh. Files, there we go, that's plan. Okay. So save that, so we've got our new URL here. If we go to this and we pay and we download all, takes a second to make the zip. I get a zip file. I don't have the name in here. It's just dash files, but we have all the files that we uploaded for this plan. Fantastic. So why am I not getting the name? Download all files, plan, name. Probably because that field is title. Exactly because that field is title. The problem here is that title might have grody text in it. I don't know if I want to use title or if I want to use like a slugified version of title. I'm thinking a slugified version of title is probably better. So Laravel has a helper for this, if I'm not mistaken. Digging deeper, helpers, string helpers. Slug. String slug. Okay, let's do that. Download all files. There. String slug. Do I have to do that parameter? I feel like I shouldn't have to do that parameter. I probably don't have to. I'll do it anyway, because why not? Oh. So now I should be able to pay, download all files, and the file I get the end of the day is just the code files. There we go. So there are images. There are our images. Again, just a quick count of this: 65, 80, 90. So it is zipping it just like a little bit. It is compressing these. I mean, image files, so obviously not going to be hugely compressed or anything. But it's doing the downloads, which is fantastic. Fantastic. I have struggled this stream, I think, to try and understand a few nuanced pieces of streaming and media library and configuration. But I think it is in a good place. I think it's in a good place. I just wish this was a little bit more abstract. Let's have a look at media library's code again. So this is in Sparsy, media library. What implements responsible here? Database migrations, no. Damn you. Damn you to hell. It's not remote file. Media stream. So add media, get media items. Media collections file. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Wow, there's such a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so this implements responsible. Oh, I was spelling it wrong. Okay, get full URL. What is that URL from? That URL function there. Temporary path. Disk driver name. Right, okay, so you could get the disk based on where it was uploaded to. Conversions disk driver name. To response. Okay, cool. So this is the responsible thing. Response stream. Cool. So this doesn't stream download though. The stream. Files, get stream this. Is that like a toString thing that it's doing there then? Or does this implement something from fly system? File system get stream this. Oh, this Skyrim music is amazing. I think this just proxies to fly system underneath, if I'm honest. Where is getStream in here? Oh my my goodness. I don't know. Oh, media collections file system. It's telling me right there. Get stream. Okay. This get media directory, file name, disk, media disk. This is not working for me. Oh, no, wait. It is. It is. It is. So stream. I could actually just use the stream directly. I could just use that directly, right? Gitstore. Schedule. That did it. Cool. So I don't have to dig into the fly system for that. This actually just lets me use stream downloads. So I think the way that I would look to extend this then, the way that I would look to extend this is to give a config option that lets you pick. Where's my to response? That lets you pick if pass through. If pass through. That's what I was missing. Okay. I would try and let you pick the custom property that determines the file name, and to be able to pick stream download as opposed to just stream. I see there's a lot of other stuff that this is doing which I like. A lot of other stuff that this is doing which I like. This file name. If only that could be customized. I'd love to be able to customize that from config, or at least have even in config to provide a closure of how it gets the file name given a media item. Yeah, that's a better thing. So a file name generator. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think having a closure in here to submit as a PR, having a closure in here that lets you specify, given a media item, how that file name is generated for streaming and whether stream or stream download is used. That's a potential improvement there, because I don't want to have to write this out every time I want to do a custom property name. Oh, and I am adding file downloads to Gitstore v2. So I integrated media library. You'll remember maybe from a few streams ago that I had this this upload model, and I uploaded files to S3, and then I created records for them here, and then I associated these with sales pages. And now in this stream, I've integrated Sparsy's media library for Laravel, so that my upload process gets a lot neater, and that I can reference these images better and get them converted and be able to do thumbnails and default items and all those kinds of cool things. But I've just been working through the process of naming them nicely on download and getting the download stuff working. So it's doing that. I've got this fake pay button, and then it says, hey, you paid, you can download these files now. And so you can download them individually, or you can hit download all and it does a zip file. Yay! So that's pretty cool. That's us working. And I will have a similar sort of download setup for keys, if keys are required, depending on repo config. Yeah. And maybe like a little instructions PDF that I automatically generate that has the steps, so you don't have to log into here again to find that. Or with maybe I'll attach a PDF to the media. That's perfect. I'll generate and attach an instructions PDF to the media that has how you use the keys, and I'll put that in the keys download thing. Okay. Anyway, that's besides the point. We've got file downloads working, which is cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Avatar's another thing we can use. Maybe I should look at adding avatar. Generating your own tiny placeholder. No, that's not what I want. Defining media collections. So there was an example in here that has a fallback URL and a fallback path, which is cool. And you can define collections here that only allow what disk they use, single file collections. So on your model you can actually register these things. I'm not actually adding these. I don't know uploads of Gravatar. I don't really know. I see the appeal of Gravatar, but not enough people use it. Oh, no, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that to being the truth. I don't see the things that I use. Don't use enough of it, and therefore I don't ever update my Gravatar. I just end up uploading avatars to the services that need them. So maybe we have it in configuration somewhere, or maybe we just start off saying, here's a avatar uploader. You just dump your avatar in here, and we'll sort it out. These examples actually tell me how I would do that, though. Currently, I am uploading files per plan, and I'm not naming them. It's just to media collection. I would probably need to have avatars associated with pages, and then upload files for that. So there'd be a media collection for like avatar, a media collection for backgrounds. I know, Robin. I saw after I did it, and then I was like, okay, the tweet's already sent out. But it was making me twitch terribly as well. So I do apologize for that. Yeah. I will do better next time, I promise. I could follow these steps quite easily to get avatars on the pages once the pages are uploaded. And then I think maybe doing like, this is the other thing why I don't think Gravatar is a good idea, because these images could actually be images per sales page. So like a logo of the product that you're selling, not your personal logo, which is why I think it shouldn't be tied with Gravatar. But I'm still trying to work through in my head how these look, how they're styled, what are the properties applied to that avatar. I feel like I made a huge mistake when I set up the pages model to have all of this crap in here. I feel like I made a huge mistake. I feel like what I should do now, because I'm using Media Library and because it's introduced these JSON fields, I should have a styles JSON field here, or classes, or settings, whatever it is. Maybe just classes, okay? I should have a classes JSON object in here. What do the defaults look like? Is it nullable? No. I don't know if you can make these fields nullable. But anyway, I should have a classes table in here, and then just keep on adding to these. Put all of these in that one field, and then I can add them easily enough, and I can default them where they're used in the theme. Because otherwise I have to keep on migrating or adding new migrations every time I add a new class to here. And I don't know what all these customizations are going to be. I'd like to be able to say, when you, like if you click on here and it's an editable thing, have a box pop up here to say, okay, you can upload an image, upload that. You can change the rounding on the avatar thing. You can hide or show the text. You can change text styles and colors. All of these things, and hint at them in the wizard's theme selector. But mostly just be able to add onto them over time and not have to have individual database fields. I think this JSON field from Media Library has made me realize that I can just do JSON fields for this kind of crap. And I'm definitely going to do it for that. I have some uncommitted changes, quite a few uncommitted changes as it happens. I did the fake pay for plan button. I'm returning the plans to the view so I can get the media items. I am adding a custom property for the upload file name, so when it downloads I can give it a nice name. That's no more a relationship. It is a relationship, but it's a polymorphic one from Media Library. I'm extending Media Library's media model to give it a custom table name, because I had to extend it anyway, because I wanted to do get route key name so that I can use the UUID in URLs. I had to change config to reflect that thing. Create media table actually got renamed to create uploads table, and uploads table migration got removed in the previous commit. This changes, so it's no longer using that relationship. If this platform is for devs, could you allow a CSS editor for people to add their own CSS to tweak as they want? Absolutely, it is for devs, and that is definitely something we want to do. But I don't know yet how we are going to do custom HTML. And I think custom HTML is as essential as custom CSS for this kind of thing. I think what we would seek to do is get it into closed beta with very basic on-Rails theme selection, and then add in like what I would consider to be a pro feature, which is, hey, now you can do your custom markup and custom CSS. There's a very good example of this on slides.com, where you create your slide decks, and for the free version that I think you can only do public slide decks, and there's some restrictions around that, but you can't do custom CSS there. And I think for the majority of people, actually, that's okay. One of the big mistakes we made with Gitstore 1 is that we leave so much up to the developer to learn or to figure out themselves. We don't tell them what their plans should look like, what other people are doing with plans. We don't tell people, apart from a very, very scant wizard, how they should be going about their experience with Gitstore. And so this whole new wizard that we're doing for Gitstore 2, this is basically what the front-end app is going to be, is just the wizard. There'll be like normal website-y stuff, policies and contact us and features and pricing and all that kind of jazz. But the main experience, the first thing you see, the first thing you use, the way that you get into Gitstore is going to be this wizard that sits on the homepage front and center, that you go through and you customize stuff. And at the end of the day, you get to seeing what this will look like, and with this click, getting your temporary page. And then you start your in-depth editing experience. And I think this does a really good job of saying, okay, are you starting out? Well, if this is the kind of thing you want to do, here are the plans we suggest with the pricing we suggest, and here are some things you can customize about them. And try and cater for like 80% of the people who have gone onto Gitstore 1 and done nothing because it's so overwhelming. What do they do? cater for 80% of those people, and then for the 20% of people who want who really are on the ball, know what they want to do, are selling stuff or have sold stuff in the past, stuff like Forged UI, stuff like Matthias's book, Code Examples. Those people will then benefit the most from custom CSS, custom HTML, and we're definitely going to add that in. But I think in the interest of getting V2 launched as soon as possible, for the closed beta where we invite people, what we should be aiming for is an on-Rails experience, launching that, getting feedback on that while we work on the pro features. So that was a lot of waffle to say. Yes, custom CSS is a good idea. It's not a horrible idea. We're going to do it. I just am not clear on when, and it'll probably launch to closed beta, of which obviously you will be invited, Owen, without that custom CSS to begin with. But it'll get there. It'll get there. I'm also redoing this in-place editing. I've fallen out of love with it. I spoke a little bit about that on Monday, though. Okay, and then we did the download endpoints. Nope. Commit. Customize defaults, media library. Nearly had a typo in there. Can you imagine what life would have been like with a typo in a commit message? I shudder to think. Hey, you know what? It's touching on 9. I started at 6:30. I think I'm going to call it